I've been thinking about hesitation lately, not just like in boxing, but in life. Because hesitation is one of those things that looks small from the outside, you know? It's just a brief pause, a brief moment, a little second where, like you feel like you could have done something, but you didn't. In boxing, it's the punch you don't throw. Like, for example, you see an opening, you know it's there, the other fighter just made a mistake and you could just took advantage. But for some reason, you just like didn't go for it. Like you just waited. That's how I've been feeling lately. Like I've just been letting the moment disappear and like I'm sitting there acting like, oh damn, no, I was just being patient with it. But deep down I know like how I am. Like I know the truth. That's a scary thing about hesitation. It doesn't always feel like fear because sometimes when I think like, oh, okay, maybe this person's busy or wait, let me think about it more before I do anything or say anything. Wait, let me make sure it's like perfect. Like when I want to try to designate a hangout in my Discord server or I want to go to boxing in real life, I end up kind of finding a little excuse that doesn't even make sense. Like for example, it's like, man, I woke up early today. I shouldn't go to boxing. It's so stupid. I noticed that. And that's what hesitation does because like it's trying to make sense of shit that doesn't even make sense. It makes sense in the moment, but it doesn't make sense at the same time. You get my drift? I've been really slacking on going to boxing in real life or doing this content creating thing. I tell myself like, shit, I got my setup right. But damn, I should have made content because it's not ready yet. It's like, bro, it's like you got the stuff, you got the materials. Why are you like stopping? And I notice that's what like hesitation does because it's it makes sense of the dumbass shit you think about. When it doesn't make sense when you actually talk to yourself about it. Don't just agree with it, just talk to yourself. Ask it. There's a difference between being patient and hesitation. Patience has a little bit more control. Hesitation has a lot of excuses. Like, for example, there's a boxing video game I just threw on. A patient fighter is like watching, he's like reading you, he's like setting something up. He's waiting because, he sees the fight clearly, he's in the flow state. But a hesitant fighter, like, he's stuck. He's not waiting because he has a plan. He's waiting because he's scared of what happens after he commits. And that's who I've been lately because that's the part that hits me. Because once I throw, I find out if my timing is real. I find out if I actually did the work, like if I actually trained hard enough. And then I find out if I'm really calm under pressure or if my confidence in my head can survive the moment. That's why action is scary. Because action kills that fantasy in your head, you know? Because, like, as long as you don't throw, you can sit there and tell yourself, maybe that could have happened. Maybe I could have had my first amateur bout a long time ago. Or maybe I could have lost this weight already. Or, like stuff I struggle with. My personal experience with hesitant is when I go to the gym, sometimes I get scared to, like, go up to people. And I don't even know why I hesitate. Everybody's so nice there. Or like doing this content thing, like, content creation is something I'm trying to do for real. I have so many videos that I record but I don't post because it's like, man, it's not ready, man, it's not the best. But isn't that what it is? Like, it's not supposed to be the best. It's just supposed to be something I put out there and then I get better with it over time. Your mind doesn't tell you that. It puts your potential, it feels like it can become a trap because potential feels good when it's protected. But if I never test it, I never have to see where I actually am at it. I can keep telling myself I could be good, I could be consistent, I could be disciplined, I could build something, or, I could become different, I could be a better guy, better person than who I actually am on the outside. Potential doesn't mean anything if I just keep hiding it. Like a punch I don't throw can't land, a dream I don't chase can't become real. A version of myself I can never act because it's just an imagination of me. And that's what hesitation has been taking from me lately. It doesn't take it all at once because it's a day by day thing. You could hesitate every day. For example, like I skip going to the gym one day, or I didn't record that day, or I didn't edit that day, or I have all these ideas but I didn't put them out there. At the end of the day, you just start delaying yourself into this endless pit. I have all these ideas, but since I overthink so much, I tend to let them get away from my grasp and I don't feed that plant anymore. I don't water that plant, so all these ideas don't even feel special in my head anymore, you know? Because hesitation starts becoming like part of my identity. And it gets hard to notice. You start saying, like, oh no, I'm just being patient with it, or nah, it's just not the right time for it. And then you just start saying, like, nah, I'm just thinking in my head. But in reality, like, I'm just stuck in boxing. Or like at first, like you're staying away from the danger. I'm avoiding getting hit. I'm keeping distance, but I'm just giving up space. The other fighter starts doing everything, starts controlling it, like the pacing. Like you start feeling jelly under your legs. Your fucking shoulders just get so tired. You start dropping your hands. He starts taking the center. He starts taking the pace. He starts making you react. He didn't even throw a punch, but you're reacting to it because you're overthinking and hesitating when you should have been setting that pace in the first place. That's what fear does. It doesn't take one big moment. It's not the knockout punch. It's not an immediate knockout punch. It just slowly chips away at your confidence, one little hesitation at a time. And then you start to realize at one point, I'm not even the one in charge of this ring. I'm not even in charge of my life anymore because I just keep living defensively when I should have been thinking more offensively. Like you start reacting to stuff when you don't put in the effort and time into it, you know? Mike Tyson said this. He said, everybody has a plan until they get hit. And like I've been feeling that, you know? Because before life hits me, everything sounds simple. I know who I want to be. I know what I want to build. I know how disciplined I want to become. I know the type of man I want to see when I look in the mirror. Then reality hits, life hits, a bad day, a failed video, a moment like for example, like you say something embarrassing or you make an awkward interaction and you embarrass yourself. Or like you realize you're not as good as you think you are and it just breaks you down and your ego like just collapse. And that's what hesitation does to you because like we said, it's just chipping away at everything that you work so hard for, you know? And like you start becoming different. You start being more careful, not in a good way. You start protecting that ego that was hurt, you know? You stop throwing the punches because you keep remembering what it feels like to miss. You bring yourself to a dark place where when you threw a punch, you missed the target. But see, that's the thing, that's a trap. It's like getting hit isn't the problem. Letting the hit change your identity is the problem. Because, like, okay, going back to the boxing thing, like, you're gonna get hit. That's part of it, you know? Like, life is like that. You're gonna make mistakes. And it's what you do with those mistakes. For example, the person that gets hit, the person that's gonna look bad, the person that messes up, the person who gets touched and still stays present, that still breathes, that still thinks, that still throws back. That's when it matters. I think confidence comes from the evidence after the fact. Every time I do what I said I was going to do, I create evidence. Every time I move while I'm scared, I create evidence. Every time I mess up and keep going, I create evidence. And Every time I stop negotiating with the weaker version of myself, I create that evidence. That's how I start trusting myself again. Not from talking about it, not from imagining it, but from the proof that I'm living in now, you know? That's why the punch matters. A punch is a decision made visible. It's my body saying, I'm done debating this. And I think that's where I get stuck sometimes. I live in debate, you know? Like thinking, planning, waiting, watching other people, telling myself like I'm ready or I'm almost ready, but at some point I still have to throw, not perfectly, you know, not recklessly. I just have to do it honestly. Because like the punch I throw can be corrected. The punch I never throw just turns into regret. Regret just keeps asking the same question like, what if? One of my biggest regrets right now in my life is I tend to tell myself, I'm going to wake up early in the morning and I'm going to do this. And then I stay in bed until 2 p.m. and I don't do it. I tell myself I'm going to go to church on Sunday, but then I end up sleeping in and I miss mass. That's like one of my biggest regrets right now. And I want to correct myself in that. I want to create that evidence that I said, even if I lose 3 hours of sleep, 4 hours of sleep, I might as well just go to the thing because like my bed is still gonna be there. You start living with these regrets, and that's like one of my biggest regrets, or my one of my biggest fears is like I start living with these constant regrets. Like I keep telling myself, man, I'm gonna go fight. I don't fight. Man, I'm gonna go create this video today. I don't create the fucking video. Cause I feel like sometimes I don't give myself a real chance to do it because that's what the hesitation really is sometimes, you know? Watching myself from the outside, knowing what needs to be done, but not giving myself permission to do it. And the messed up part is nobody is coming to give me that permission. The moment won't make itself less scary. The opening won't stay open forever. You know, the fear, it won't disappear. Like it's it's like you have to move first to make sure that fear learns its place, you know? And that's what I've been getting from just like watching all these boxers or shoot, even doing boxing. It's what I notice, it's what boxing teaches so perfectly. You don't wait until there's like no danger. There's always gonna be danger. You're always overthinking about it. Like, man, if you've ever been in the ring, shoot, bro. One of the things is like it's okay to be scared in there because that means you care about it. That means you're aware, you know, like there's always gonna be danger. You just have to learn how to move with it. And that's the courage part. It's not it's not being fearless. It's not about being loud about it. Like nobody is like Muhammad Ali or George Foreman. You know, Muhammad Ali even admitted to him, shit gets scary in there, man. But still, like, I'm still gonna carry this confidence with me because, like, I refuse to let these emotions control me. And that's what I got from that. Courage is when your hand shakes and but you still throw. It's when you're unsure but you still start. Courage is when I don't know when it's going to go or how it's going to go, but I still go with it. So I'm trying to look at hesitation a little bit differently now. Not like some giant thing I defeat one time, but like a habit I have to train against, you know? It's like footwork, like defense, like timing. You have to just train yourself to move before your mind talks you out of it because it's gonna get ugly in there, man. You might as well just start ugly. I'm gonna make sure I do that workout, and that's the promise I'm gonna make myself, and I hope you do the same. Because the truth is, you have to take that risk. You have to you have to take you have to make that attempt. Like, you know, if Evil Knievel never jumped those fucking like crazy ass ramps, we wouldn't even know him. And I'm pretty sure he was scared out of his fucking mind. You you just gotta take that leap of faith because perfect conditions aren't always gonna be there. I remember one time this was a couple months ago, I made this lame ass excuse. The boxing gym I go to is indoors, and I said, man, like, it's raining outside. I'm not gonna go because it's raining outside, even though my boxing gym is indoors. Like, I'm so dumb for that, man. What I realize now is I don't need the perfect time, you know? I just need an honest action. I gotta be honest with myself. I gotta be honest and say, man, I'm gonna put myself out there now. I'm gonna punch. I'm gonna take that step. I'm gonna make that one video I said that I was gonna do. I'm gonna make a real attempt of something. I'm gonna jump that evil Knievel shit. That's how I become the person I keep saying I wanna become. I don't wanna think about that person anymore, but I wanna give that person something to do because I know that person I want to become isn't built in my head. He's built in the exchanges that I choose to be in. He's built when things are uncomfortable. You gotta build yourself. You gotta, like, right now, I'm tired as hell. It's 4 in the morning, but I'm telling myself, man, I'm gonna make this video because I really wanna make this video. I don't even feel ready about this, if I'm being honest with you. Like, this is scary as hell to me. I'm being honest here. This is probably one of my most honest videos. I'm putting myself out there. I'm not just hiding from it. I actually say, you know what? I have a video idea. I hope whoever listens to it, I hope they fuck with it enough to, like, just tell me that they fuck with it or they're going through the same thing. Here's how I'm gonna just close this off. The goal isn't to never hesitate. It's like, that's not realistic. Everybody hesitates. Everybody has fear. Everybody freezes sometimes. The goal is to stop letting hesitation make the final decision. You gotta feel it. You gotta notice it. Call it what it is. Then move anyway. Because that's what courage is. You don't try to impress people who aren't even there with you, or like, because you got to think about it this way. When a boxer's in there, yeah, like, he's got a coach, he's got, his cut man, he's got his manager, but he's not in that fucking ring with him. You got to move honestly and throw the punch that matches the person that you want to become, because hesitation, it's taken a lot of time away from me already. And I don't want my life to be built from the punches I just kept inside me. I want it to be built around the punches that I finally decided to throw, before the round ends, before I move on. And I just want to be more honest and not hesitate so much. I'm gonna leave this video off here. Just let me know if you actually pick something up with this. Tell me your stories in the chat and I'll read it. You know, I'll come back to this video every now and then, just remind myself there's people out there that are going through the same thing, and I want to be the example of, like, just being able to move past it. Move past that hesitation. I got to stop disrespecting myself, and I just have to be more honest with myself. Anyways, I'll see y'all in the next one. Thank y'all for